welcome to my channel. So I haven't done a video talking about the news or a hot topic in a while, but I saw this on the news yesterday and I'm curious to know what you guys think about. So this is what happened. A woman in North Carolina, she's suing Google after her husband died driving off a collapsed bridge. So he was coming back from a birthday party and it was a dark, rainy night and he was following Google Maps. But the Google Maps didn't show that there was a collapsed bridge. So he drove off and unfortunately he died. This is a really sad story because, you know, he's a husband, a father of two. So her lawyers are showing two screenshots from two different apps. One is MapQuest and one is Google. In MapQuest, clearly you see it shows the gap where the broken bridge is and Google Maps doesn't. So Google replied with this statement. Our goal is to provide accurate routing information in maps. We are reviewing this lawsuit. The woman is also suing the landowners because maybe they should have put up a big sign or, you know, a barrier pointing out that, you know, the bridge has collapsed. And by the way, this bridge has been collapsed since 2013. You're telling me that this bridge has been broken for 10 years and you didn't even put up some lights around it to warn people? I read that some locals, they actually, when they heard that this man died, the locals were the ones that put up a barricade, you know, where the bridge is. The locals had to do it? What about the city? Why are we paying taxes? So who's at fault? Is Google liable for this horrific accident? Look, I'm a millennial. Try to talk to any of us, especially us who are in the younger cusp of the millennials. Try to talk to us about the concept of being lost. We don't even know what that is because we rely so much on Google Maps. I can't even imagine how my life was before Google Maps. I was actually talking to a friend of mine and I think she's like a year before millennials, or she's like the older millennium, but we've known each other for years. We were talking about something and I asked her, how do we get around back in the day, taking buses and trolleys? How do we know when the bus was coming or where we're supposed to go? How did I know what time the bus was coming? And of course, there's the little paper books that you get in, you know, the buses. They have the pockets where you get the bus schedule. But now I rely so much on Google Maps that, you know, it tells me when the bus is coming, when the bus is leaving, all the bus stops. And then I remember driving with a friend of mine and his parents, and they had the paper maps that you fold like this. And I was like, how do you even understand where to go with this thing? They still use paper maps and it shows like the routes and all the highways. I'm like, this is so confusing. So because we become so dependable on these apps, especially, you know, Google Maps, it's really easy to put the blame on them. I remember I was waiting for a bus and this bus only comes every 30 minutes. And I was at the bus stop like 10 minutes early, like 10 minutes early, just in case, because I didn't want to miss it. And I waited 30 minutes, then 45 minutes, then an hour. The bus never came. And I kept checking my Google Maps and it said the bus was coming, bus is on time, bus never came. I stayed at the bus stop for over an hour. And I know you can tell me, it's like, oh, you should have just gotten an Uber. And I was like, no, it beats the purpose of using the Google Maps. What if I had to go to work and I ended up being late to work? Or what if I had an emergency that I had to get to and Google Maps told me the bus was coming and the bus didn't come? I found out eventually that the bus drivers were on strike. So that particular bus route wasn't running. Should I be mad at Google because Google didn't know that the drivers were on strike? Or like if you driving and the route that Google Maps sends you through a dangerous neighborhood and you ended up getting robbed, are you gonna sue Google because you got robbed? I think that you have to drive with discernment, especially in rural areas where, you know, the reception, it's not good because, you know, Google uses the satellites and maybe, you know, it's not catching, you know, the whatever route you're looking for or whatever location you're at. So in this particular case, I personally don't think it's on Google. I'm sure the wife is going through a grieving process, and where the stage is denial, anger. So I'm sure she's looking to blame everyone and anyone, and she's looking, for justice for her husband. And it might not even be the family. It could be the lawyers, because lawyers, they can sniff out money from miles away. So the lawyer saw a big corporation like Google and it's going for the cash grab. What I would do though is sue the landowner or the city. Well, I don't know if you can sue the city for a private property, but definitely the landowner, because this bridge has been collapsed for a decade and nobody has done anything. There was another case of a lawsuit that I saw on the news. It seems like everyone nowadays is like lawsuits left and right. We live in a happy sue society. But this woman, she's suing McDonald's because she said she went through, the drive-through, and the employee gave her coffee cup and the lid wasn't closed properly and spilled hot coffee on her. So she's suing McDonald's. I think they're like on the train of, there was a lady, I think she was like 79 years old, but this was like years and years ago. She sued McDonald's and she got $2.7 million because the coffee was really, really hot. It spilled on her and she had to spend like days in the hospital. It was so hot that it melted the seatbelt on her skin. So she sued McDonald's, and that's why now McDonald's has like a policy or something that the coffee has to be at a certain temperature so this doesn't happen again. But this woman with the lid, accidents happen and sometimes it's your fault. This one sounds like a cash grab to me because, okay, I got ice cream and the ice cream was too cold. It gave me brain freeze. I am going to sue. Oh, and the owner for this particular McDonald's franchise, he responded. He said, "My restaurants have strict food safety protocols in place, including training crew to ensure lids on hot beverages are secure. We are reviewing this new legal claim in detail." What do you think? Do you think the lady that lost her husband due to that collapsed bridge has the right to sue Google, or she should go to the landowner? And then what do you think of this lady with the McDonald's with the lid and the coffee that spilled? And I will end this little video with a little tip from, from a traveler myself. If you ever go to a foreign country, and if you trying to get to, be it airport to your hotel to an attraction, print out the directions or write them down, just so you have a backup if something happens with your phone, if the battery dies, or if you lose your phone, at least you have the directions right there with you. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the little bell notification button so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you next time.